Salut tout le monde, bienvenue dans Standard Le Talk, votre émission 100% Standard de Liège, Clap 20e émission de cette saison 2023-2024. Et pour cette émission, on vous propose l'interview exclusive de Aiden O'Neill. Le joueur australien s'est confié à nous parle de ses débuts dans le football, du football australien et de son arrivée au Standard de Liège. Aiden O'Neill est notre rouge du soir de cette 20e de Standard Le Talk.
I'm Aiden O'Neill. I'm 25 and I'm from Australia. I play, centre midfield. I've played there my whole career since I was a young kid. Yeah, that's about it, about position-wise. For me, it's, a team that's together. Everyone has each other's back. Mateship. That for me is what locker room means. Yeah, I mean, it always helps when you build relationships off the field. Because we go through so many things on the field, when we walk out there, it's war and, we all have to have each other's back and when you're mates, you always go that extra distance to, make sure, you do the best for your team and your mates as well. Yeah, for sure. Having good relationships in the team and there's always going to be, arguments and disagreements, but in the correct way, especially in football, a lot of things happen on the field where, you're talking and saying stuff to each other and there's always going to be arguments and disagreements, but I think that's healthy, and just as it's done the right way, it's also a good thing to have. Yeah, I'm really, enjoying my time here, to play in the stadium and in front of these fans is something that drew me to the club and something now that I've experienced, and it's something that I do not take for granted. To walk out there in front of these supporters and just give absolutely everything that I have for the team is something that I really enjoy. Obviously, it's been quite tough. We haven't got the results I feel we deserve to have got, and how much hard work we've been putting in, but I feel it changing. Yeah, for sure. I think the new managers come in and you can see he's really instilled that belief and just give absolutely everything that we have. And after the game, if the result doesn't go our way, we can say we gave absolutely everything, and I think that's the most important thing in the situation that we're in, is to just leave everything out on the field and don't, come back in here and say we didn't do this and didn't do that. We want to win football games as well. I think that's what we want and that's what we're working towards. Yeah, well, the first time I would have played and, my first touch in football would be 6 or 7 years old when I was in Australia where I grew up. With all my mates back, when we were that age, in the sun, probably very hot, just absolutely loving, playing football. It was something, I just started playing. My parents played, a lot of different sports in Australia, especially. There's many sports, there's cricket, there's football, there's AFL, there's rugby, surfing's big. So there is a lot of sports to choose from, but football for me was always the one, something that from that age, I just knew that it was something that I wanted to do. It was a passion of mine and I just absolutely loved it. Not really, I really enjoy surfing, but that for me, I didn't start early enough and wasn't good enough. But football, was always the one, but it's really starting to change now in Australia. Football is becoming big, with the women's team and the men's team now, we're really starting to push up in the rankings in the world as well. And on the back of the last World Cup, for both sets of teams as well, it's really showing the nation, how far it's coming and how far it can go. Yeah, it was important, but definitely, other sports were, big or bigger than football at that time. My football idol, from an age where I was starting to watch sort of the Premier League, staying up quite late in Australia there, and And Dad and I would always watch Chelsea and watch, Lampard. And I think growing up, I had his jersey and used to watch him and just go, wow, absolutely, one of the best players in the world. And I think for me, he was my biggest idol. From midfield, he could do absolutely everything, all the goals that he scored and he was a complete midfielder, I would say. As far as I can remember, I've always played in the middle of the park from a very young age. I didn't really, when you're very young, you have to rotate. So I think everyone plays every position, even goalkeeper as well. So, but it's always been the position that I played. As well as my personality, I'm not really that type of person, to be in the spotlight and that sort of thing, when you're young, so much younger, about the spotlight. But for me, it's all about winning games and being a part of a team for me. And, if football was an individual sport, I definitely don't think I would enjoy it as much. Team sports for me is very important, and, the culture and just brings so much enjoyment. When I played football, so before I joined Standard, I won the premiership, 3 times with my last club. And one of the first years we went back, we won both, so the championship and we played like grand final series as well. So for me, that was really big. And then I made my debut, pretty soon, like 12 months ago. And that for me was an absolute honour and something that I've always dreamt of doing, playing for your national team. No, not for me. I think the biggest pressure would have been from myself, because it was something that I knew I wanted to really do. So it was always myself that would, push myself and put that sort of pressure on me and making sure that I made it my career and what I wanted to do. My parents and family never ever put any, pressure on me making it. I would probably say when I was younger, I was a little bit more aggressive. I think I've calmed it down a bit. Obviously the game's changed a little bit. There's VAR and things like that now. When back in the day you could, really, really get stuck in. But I've always sort of had that in my game from a very young age. One of the people that was in, like my youth team at Burnley, Dwight McNeil, who's now at Everton, top player and someone that when I was with the first team there, he was just starting to break through and just broke into the team and just carried on and now, is unbelievable career. That journey that I went on, it was tough, at a young age. I moved over when I was 14. It definitely turns your world upside down. You're a long way from home. And I think it just really made me very driven, and I realized this is what I want to do and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to give absolutely everything to make sure that this is what I'm going to do for my my work and what I love to do as well. So I think with that belief and that mentality is probably the reason I am here today. So when I first moved over, my parents came with me, and I think if they didn't, it would have been even harder. So my parents, they moved over with me when I was 14, and my sister, who at the time was 18, stayed back in Brisbane. She had the choice whether she wanted to move, but she chose to stay in Brisbane. I think that's just part of the sacrifice you have to make to pursue your dream and to hopefully one day make it your career. And I think I understood that from a very young age. It's very tough at the time. I felt like, there's times, where you're like, oh, I wish I could do this and that. But definitely, looking back on it now, and that's one of the reasons, I'm sat here today is because of the mentality I had and the sacrifices that I made from a very young age. Moving from Australia, you see the culture in football and, they live and breathe it, very similar to here. Everyone's talking about it. It's the only sport everyone's interested in, because in Australia, obviously, we said before that there's many different codes, and that for me was huge and something that I just loved, Everything was about football, and that's what everyone talked about. Yeah, so I'd been, doing quite well with the first team and training with them for a while now, and yeah, we had Liverpool at home, and I'd been in the squad, like the 21-man squad a few times, and watched the game from behind the stands and stuff like that, and it was always like, I'm close, if I just keep doing well. And yeah, before the game we had like the meeting, just to show our starting lineup and our bench, and yeah, I saw my name on the bench for the first time, and yeah, I didn't really know what to do. I sort of looked around the room and looked back at the screen, and I was like, all right, I'm on the bench against Liverpool, at home, and yeah, that for me was incredible. As an 18-year-old, just extremely excited, and not so much nerves or anything like that. I was just over the moon to be a part of it and to be on the bench. And then, yeah, we were winning at home, and he put me on, for the last few minutes. And yeah, that feeling was something very special and something that I will remember for the rest of my life. I mean, yeah, lots of things have happened, in between that. But in terms of, I think of, a 10-year-old self back in Australia and dreaming of, playing in the Premier League. The journey that I went on to achieve that, and is something very special. That not many people get to do. Yeah, so I went over there and I was on trial not on trial, sorry, I was with an academy, training for a few weeks, and there was a few scouts there, and there was one from Burnley, and he just invited me, to come and train with the team for a while. And yeah, I was on trial for like 6 months, and they said, we're gonna, offer you a scholarship, which is between 16 and 18. And yeah, when they said that, that was a very, very exciting moment, just to be almost full-time footballer. We used to go to college once a day, was something really special, and something I wasn't going to take for granted. See, the Premier League, everyone talks about it as being the best league in the world, so obviously that's the pinnacle. But yeah, I went back to Australia, went on loan from Burnley, and it definitely doesn't get the recognition, or it doesn't get as much televised and talked about. But the A-League is a really good league and very competitive. A lot of people that come to the league, from Europe, they think, it's going to be nice and easy, and I'll be the best player here, and a lot of them say openly, that they're very surprised of the level, and everyone's very fit, strong, But I think sometimes the difference between the leagues is maybe just, technical ability and those sorts of things, and individual quality. Yeah, I definitely think the Belgium league is better than the A-League. But yeah, from the team that I came from, the football that we would play, and they're continuing to play now. We were a very good team and had top players that have had careers overseas, and a few of the boys came back this year who were at Melbourne City last year and are back playing in Europe again. So yeah, we had some quality individuals as well. But yeah, you come here and people, have a very good understanding of football and individual quality. Again, like I said before, I think is one of the bigger differences. We played Argentina in a friendly for Australia, and yeah, Messi was something special. Another player I played when I was at Burnley, when we played at Stamford Bridge, Hazard was another one that, yeah, when he got the ball, sometimes it felt like, I don't really want to go too close to him. So I'd probably say, yeah, those two were, and two of the players that a lot of people talk about as being the best in the world.
Si vous avez l'habitude de regarder Standard Le Talk, vous savez que la grande interview se divise en deux parties. La première, vous venez de la voir, consacrée à Aiden O'Neill, et la deuxième partie, consacrée au joueur australien, arrivera un peu plus tard dans l'émission. Mais d'abord, la story. Vous étiez nombreux à me demander sur les réseaux sociaux si vous pouviez revoir la vidéo d'Emile Mpenza. Eh bien, rien que pour vous, pour la 20e de Standard Le Talk, on vous propose à nouveau ce reportage exceptionnel consacré à la carrière d'Emile Mpenza au Standard de Liège.
Aan de overkant Standaard met een mogelijkheid voor Emile Mpenza. De eerste kans van de wedstrijd en de goal! Het is 1-0 voor Standaard.
Elle est magnifique cette passe pour Emile Mpenza. Oh là là, la surprise ici et la consternation.
Je suis Emile Mpenza, ancien international. J'ai évolué au Standard de 1997 à 1999 et de 2003 à 2004. Je jouais tout le temps dans la rue avec mes amis et devant le jardin. On habitait dans un appartement avec 35 étages et on était au premier étage. Et ma mère nous voyait toujours jouer dans le jardin qui était en face de l'immeuble. Et un jour, elle m'a pris, moi et mon frère, elle nous a tenus par la main. Elle a dit « Je vais vous inscrire dans un club de foot parce que vous jouez toujours à deux » et elle trouvait ça triste. Et puis on a fait peut-être 15 km à pied et elle nous a inscrits à Mévin. C'était le club de la région de lorsque j'habitais à Mons. Et nous, c'était qu'un jeu. Puis il y a eu un tournoi international. Et là, il y a Courtrai qui nous a vus et qui nous a trouvés excellents. Et puis mes parents et moi, on a décidé, pourquoi pas d'aller à Courtrai. Pour moi, c'était tout d'abord un plaisir, c'était pas pour être professionnel. Et puis tout s'est enclenché d'une façon extraordinaire. En fait, c'est le plaisir du football qui m'a fait devenir professionnel. C'était un autre monde. Hein. Déjà, on était à Moucron. C'était toutes les semaines 10 000 personnes, chaque match à guichet fermé. Et puis quand on arrive au Standard, une grande ville. Moucron, c'est une petite ville, et même un village, je veux dire. Et puis arrivé à Liège, tout était extravagant, tout était énorme, grand. En plus qu'il y avait, je pense à cette époque-là, Ademos, qui était un grand coach. Et le Standard voulait rivaliser contre Anderlecht. La première saison a été un peu difficile à s'adapter, puisque pour moi, c'était ma deuxième année de première division. Et surtout, d'être dans un club comme le Standard, tout le monde connaissait le Standard, c'est un club, je veux dire, numéro 1 du club wallon. Moi, j'étais supporter aussi du Standard, mais on a eu des coups de fil d'Anderlecht. Je me souviens avoir Verskuren et mon père au téléphone. On les a même vus avec Misson. Et Misson, en plus, c'est un avocat de Liège. Donc, mon père, comme il était supporter du Standard aussi, on est venu au Standard. Le premier classico contre Anderlecht, c'était pas un bon souvenir. Je me souviens, il y avait Gilbert Baudard était dans les buts. Il y avait aussi Wamberto, il y avait Visconti. Je pense qu'on avait un bon groupe, mais on n'était pas encore prêts. Et c'est comme ça que j'ai su m'adapter l'année suivante, et puis ça a été de mieux en mieux.
Change don't change like it used to. Who runs the roost round here? The coop's gone clear. Got the heart from the...
Ce qui m'a impressionné, c'était, comme tu dis, l'engouement, surtout les supporters. Et je pense que si tu es un joueur du Standard, tu dois mouiller le maillot. C'est ça qu'ils attendent en fait ici à Liège. Quand il y a des joueurs qui ne mouillaient pas le maillot, des fois ils ressentaient ça dans les tribunes. Mais même si on perdait, qu'on mouillait le maillot, eh ben, ça faisait comme si c'était une victoire. Et ça, c'est quelque chose que j'ai su apprendre, c'est-à-dire de jouer avec le cœur et surtout de ne pas oublier le maillot que tu portes sur toi. Je pense que j'étais un peu complet. La vitesse, le placement, mettre les buts, grâce sûrement avec les entraînements que M. Dominique avait fait à ce moment-là, et aussi avec Guy Namurois, parce qu'il fallait savoir jouer 90 minutes. Et je les faisais tous les 90 minutes de la même façon. Je me souviens encore une anecdote contre Bruges, quand on gagne à domicile 3-1. Je pense que je fais une accélération à la fin, encore déstabiliser l'équipe. Et puis Papi Kimoto avait tiré juste au-dessus du but. Ça, je me souviendrai tout le temps. Et on avait vraiment tout avec nous. L'effectif, le collectif et aussi une bande de copains. Quand le joueur marque, les supporters ils sont dans un état extase. Alors mettez-vous sur le terrain. C'est x 1000. Ça m'a amené mieux qu'un orgasme. Il faut le dire. Hein. Et de toute façon, cet orgasme-là, il restera à vie. Il ne me fera jamais du mal. Le 1-4 à Anderlecht. Ouais. Pour moi, oui, c'est le plus beau souvenir. Surtout qu'on méritait de faire le championnat qu'on a fait à ce moment-là. C'était pour moi ma meilleure époque en tant que joueur au Standard. Drago, Morera, Visconti. On avait un bon groupe. Papi Kimoto aussi, l'ambianceur du vestiaire, lui. Non, tout le monde. On allait une fois par mois, on allait boire un verre, et on allait sortir et manger. Ce qu'ils ont vu à mon époque et ceux qui voient maintenant, je pense que pour eux, ils voient vraiment une grosse différence d'organisation, de dirigeants, de nouvelles actionnaires. Donc ça doit se mettre en marche. Mais la question que je me pose, est-ce que ça va se mettre en marche? Parce que ça fait quand même quelques années que le Standard n'est pas là où ils doivent se trouver. Et il n'y a pas que eux, il y a aussi Anderlecht. Donc des fois, dans le foot, je pense que l'âme des gens qui ont amené le club où ils sont, quand ils partent, ça part aussi. C'est pas qu'en Belgique, quand on regarde à Lyon, c'est la même chose. Donc vous voyez, même à Marseille, ça a été ça aussi, Bernard Tapie. Donc le football, je pense, c'est une histoire inexacte, mais qui a un cœur. Un joueur de foot, si il donne pas le maximum sur le terrain, à un moment donné, ça va payer cash. Parce qu'on ne peut pas mentir dans le monde du football. Que ce soit les dirigeants ou les joueurs, à un moment, on se fait ramasser. Quand il faut quand même sauver le club, on ne sait pas choisir d'où cet argent vient et de qui. Si le club est toujours en première division, maintenant, il faut travailler justement peut-être avec les gens qui connaissent le club depuis quelques années, qu'ils ont l'âme, et surtout qu'ils ont l'ADN. L'ADN, il faut toujours la garder. Parce que le club n'existe pas depuis hier ou avant-hier. Donc les nouveaux qui sont là doivent comprendre comment le club a été existé. Et les supporters le savent. Donc ils veulent voir aussi cet ADN sur le terrain. Parce que si tu dois jouer par exemple, un bête exemple, à Beveren, tu joues contre le Standard, tu vas jouer à 100%. Mais si tu es de l'autre côté, tu devras te battre à 100% contre tout le monde. Et ça, il y a peut-être des joueurs qui n'ont pas justement les épaules pour porter ce maillot. Balikwisha. Oui, ça c'est mon préféré. En plus, il est congolais comme moi, d'origine, donc le façon qu'il joue, il avait fait une bonne fin de saison l'année passée, mais j'espère qu'il va avoir plus de chance cette année. Parce que c'est quelqu'un que je pense qu'il peut apporter au sein du groupe quand le groupe est positif et quand le groupe joue bien. Ce que son frère fait à l'Antwerp, il peut le faire aussi. Il faut toujours avoir espoir. Et tant que tu as l'espoir, comme moi je l'ai, j'espère qu'ils reviendront à un club qui porte le vrai nom du Standard sur le terrain et sur le classement. Pour moi, je reste toujours positif.
Pour cette 20e de Standard Le Talk, on se permet de vous montrer une partie du studio qu'on prépare pour accueillir les joueurs du Standard de Liège pour leurs grandes interviews, ce qui me permet justement de lancer cette deuxième partie avec Aiden O'Neill où il nous parle justement de son arrivée au Standard de Liège.
The feeling is incredible, you know, another thing you dream of as a kid, and you watch, you know, a lot of Australian players playing for the national team when you're younger and you're at World Cups, and you know, we had quite a few at my old club at Melbourne City playing for the national team, you know, and they were telling me, you know, you're not far away, like you're playing really well, and I know that you're in the discussion for, you know, coming in for the first time. And yeah, I got my chance, and you know, I actually started my first game, you know, for the national team, and that was a really special night for me. You know, I didn't tell my mum and dad about the debut or anything, and yeah, they came to the stadium with quite a few people, and yeah, you know, that they found out that I was starting the game, and yeah, it was incredible. You know, something that, yeah, again, that you dream of, and you know, with hard work, anything's possible. And I got that opportunity, and something, I do not take for granted. I'd probably say it's very different. It's where you're born and not necessarily more. I don't, feel like more to play better but it's just a different feeling, very hard to describe. It's for your country, it's, you want to really do proud for your family, as well as, that's where you were born, where you grew up, and ultimately where, I will move back to when football is finished. Yeah, well, we just, come together, and, sometimes we're traveling back to Australia, which, it's a pretty long way. But yeah, you get used to that as well, and that doesn't bother me at all. But yeah, we come together for a few days before games, and I think one of the biggest strengths of our national team is, there's quite a few boys that have played together and played at a lot of the boys in the national team now have been at my old club at Melbourne City, and we really know each other well, and we know, the way we play, and yeah, it's really, really enjoyable going into camp with all of them, and the culture that we've built there is something very special. First time I came here, I arrived on my birthday, in July, so that was my first day, and to be honest, I didn't know much. Obviously knew about the club, but the area and that sort of thing, I had no idea. So yeah, it was a completely new place, new city to come to, and it's something that takes a little while to get used to, you move in country, foreign language, but I've really enjoyed the challenge, playing in front of these fans. I think, incredible, and to do that, it is something very special, and I know that, the locker room that we have and the changing room, all know how important it is, to give absolutely everything, when they turn up every week and support us like they do, is something, that it gives us a lot of motivation to go out there and to perform. Yeah, it's something I personally wanted to do. I could have stayed in Australia, stayed at Melbourne City, I had the opportunity to do that, and I really wanted a different challenge, something very new, and when Liège was interested, I really wanted to experience it and come here and learn a new way of life. And yeah, I was obviously told about the atmosphere here, and I can honestly say it's the best atmosphere I've ever played in front of, and something that I really enjoy. Yeah, I knew a little bit of it, but yeah, I didn't really understand, the history behind it, which I do now, and yeah, it's something very special and a massive club. This is one of the reasons we play football, for that support and that feeling that we get on the field. It's not always easy, no, but the support that they show. I think when the results aren't going the way that we want and they want, I fully understand their frustration, and we're frustrated in ourselves as well, a lot. So we just try absolutely everything, to get the results that we deserve, and also for them, that turn up every week to support us. Yeah, I think it's very similar, but some of the games that I've played here have been, incredible. The atmospheres and the noise that the supporters make, especially even, from like a big tackle, or, when someone scores a goal, and that feeling and the atmosphere is, something really special. A good thing about Belgium is, as well as, it's a lovely country itself, there's a lot of countries, like Netherlands, Germany, around it, which for me, is pretty cool, coming from Australia. Europe's a long way away, and having all these countries, so close together is something very different and very cool. Oh, I don't have too much, but I do enjoy, there's a pizza place that I go to in Liège that I'm gluten-free, and they do a really good gluten-free pizza, which me and my girlfriend have had probably quite a few times, which is pretty nice. Yeah, me, my mum, my dad, and my sister and her partner, and yeah, we try to, you know, communicate as much as we can. You know, a lot of the times when I speak to them, it's in the morning on the way to training, and my sister is, you know, had a little girl very recently. She's, you know, 4 months old, and we try to talk to her as much as I can. So I haven't met her yet, which is something that's going to be very special and something I look forward to doing, to meeting her. But yeah, I think she's starting to get to know who I am. You know, we FaceTime quite a bit, and that's something that's pretty cool for me. At the moment, you know, I've come back and, you know, I feel like, you know, I would say I'm more of a defensive-minded midfielder. You know, someone who you know, pick up a lot of second balls and start play that way. You know, I've really enjoyed playing, you know, with Stephen in the middle of the park, and you know, I've been trying to really add, you know, quite a few more goals to my game, which I did do the other week, and had another opportunity, you know, the other day, and that's something, you know, I do want to add to my game is scoring more goals and running with the ball a few more times and trying to, you know, create a few more opportunities for us to score and win games. Best skills, well, I don't do too many tricks. But yeah, it's, you know, I would say one of my skills is something that, you know, I will give absolutely everything, you know, on the field for the team to get results, and I will keep going and keep running and do whatever has to be done, you know, to win football games. I think that would probably be one of my biggest strengths. To be, you know, good in my position, I think you know, really have to understand the game, and you have to, you know, really know where the players are on the other field, on both sets of the teams, you know, where the pressure's coming from and where your teammates are, you know, trying to you know, break lines with the ball, and yeah, trying to, you know, control the game, and so, you know, your team has the advantage. I'd say that's, you know, a big role for a midfielder and in any team, really. Yeah, I'm really enjoying my time here. You know, when I first came, I was still, you know, really enjoying myself, but it was, you know, very hard. You know, I was just finding my feet and, you know, the way of life, and, you know, as it is for anybody that comes to new places, and, you know, especially in football, you know, you need to get to know people and the way that, you know, the league works and everything like that. So yeah, I enjoyed it from the start, but I feel like, you know, I'm really starting to enjoy my football, and, you know, the more games we win, I'm going to definitely enjoy it more. Yeah, I think, you know, on the football field, I can be a bit more aggressive in terms of, you know, personality and stuff, and that's something that I do like, and I think, you know, I won't ever change. But offside, you know, so off the field, yeah, I'm, you know, quite a relaxed person. I think it's, you know, quite common for Australian people to be pretty laid back and that sort of thing. So yeah, I would say off the pitch, I'm pretty laid back and pretty easygoing guy. There's a few little things I have or I do sometimes, but sometimes they change, and, you know, if I don't have, you know, such a good game, then I'll change that and think, why was I ever doing that weird ritual? But not too many things. I always have, you know, a similar dinner the night before a game, which is just pesto pasta and salmon, which is pretty common. So, but not too many, like, you know, rituals that I do before the game. You know, when we've got a game, the speaker's always going, and, you know, that the music is good, and, you know, it helps people to stay relaxed, and then, you know, the music normally picks up quite a bit, you know, before the game is coming closer, which is, yeah, a good thing. Yeah, you know, when the countdown's happening, it's what we do, you know. We play football and we're there to win, and I think we've already mentally prepared ourselves for the game, and, you know, tactical wise, you know, we've already done all that, and now it's time to go out and do it. Yeah, it's, I think, something that is very special, you know, the passion and the noise and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, you know, for me, I just, you know, try to control what I can control and my game and focus on that. And yeah, the atmosphere is incredible and stuff like that. But, you know, when you're in the moment, I think, you know, a lot of the noise doesn't really affect. I think, you know, defensively, you know, I try to win the ball back as much as I can, and, you know, so occasionally, you know, give away a few fouls. And something I would never do is, you know, sort of like back out of, you know, a 50-50 ball or anything like that. And unless, you know, I just never really do. And sometimes in this game, this day and age, you know, that can get you in a little bit of trouble with, you know, VAR and stuff like that. But yeah, I never go out to hurt anybody or anything like that. You know, I'm just a competitive person who really wants to win. I mean, yeah, you know, the mental side of football can be very, very tough at times. And, you know, when it's not going well, it can, you know, be even harder. When it's going well, it's, you know, the best thing in the world, and you don't think too much. And similar to other people in other jobs, you know, when life's good, life's easy, everything's going the way you want it, you know, you don't think too much. But in football, when it's not going the way you want, it can be mentally, you know, very hard, and you have to learn, you know, how to deal with those circumstances and those emotions. But after games, yeah, I do think about it, you know, for a bit, probably more so when we, don't play well and that sort of thing. And yeah, I don't sleep too well after the games, you know, especially the late kickoffs. You know, it's very, very difficult to go from that state, you know, of competing and going out there and giving everything, to coming home to a quiet, you know, apartment and not too much going on. So yeah, it's something that is just part of the game. My biggest wish for us is to finish as high as we can and get as many results and as many points, you know, from the remaining games that we have for the team, for the supporters, for the city. You know, I know how much it means to them as well as me and the other boys in the team, you know, to do that for them. That's my biggest wish. So yeah, the Asian Cup, you know, which was very recent. You know, we did really well. We, you know, went through the group stages and topped that, and then, you know, won the next game. And then we played South Korea, which, you know, everything was going to plan, and the way that we prepared for the game, it was, you know, it was perfect. And you know, in football, you know, things happen, and, you know, we learned from it. You know, it was a very difficult moment, you know, for the team as well as me personally. You know, one of the toughest things to happen to me in football, you know, getting, you know, sent off from my country and you know, feeling, you know, like I let everyone down and everything like that, which is something, you know, you definitely don't want, especially, you know, we'd been together for, you know, 4.5, 5 weeks, you know, in Qatar and really enjoying each other's company and enjoying, you know, the process and, you know, training and playing. And so that was something that was very difficult to get over. And, you know, I came back straight away and, you know, was straight back into it. But that was something that was very important and something that I was looking forward to coming back to Standard and kicking on. Tim Cahill, you know, an incredible player for Australia. You know, the amount of goals and that he scored was an icon for many young kids growing up that wanted to, you know, play football. And will never really be forgotten in Australian football for sure. So this was when we played Ecuador. We played, I think this, what was this picture? This was in Sydney. This was my debut for the Socceroos and my first game. And, you know, I just remember being incredibly excited for what was to come, and to play a game and start for my national team was, you know, and we won the game as well. So that was very special and something that I'll never forget. And then this one is, the stadium here, and this is this looked quite similar to when I first saw it for the first time, and I think it's a really good stadium here. I think it's actually one of the best in Belgium for sure, like in terms of the infrastructure and everything. And then when all the fans are in it, it is incredible. You know, some of family and mates and that get up really early to watch the games, and they just can't believe the atmospheres and the passion shown from all the supporters. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's especially when they've got the flares and all the tifos and all those things are up, and it's incredible, and something when we're walking out we really enjoy. And my first goal for Liège and in an important game, this was the first game back from the Asian Cup. It was pretty special, me and Isaac Price, we do a lot of finishing after training, and I don't think I've scored one like that in finishing before. I've come close a few times, but that was something very special. It just sort of happened. I didn't really think too much. Stephen played the ball there, and it came to my chest, and I didn't really have anything else to do, and I was a little bit further out than I would normally take a shot, and I just hit it very, very sweet, and that feeling for me in a game that was a big one for us at home was incredible. And I've watched it a few times, and something that I want that feeling again, and I'll keep practicing, and that's I think what we all want. We want to win games here, and for me it's not about me scoring or anything like that. Is that game that we won, and that was important.
C'était la 20e émission de Standard Le Talk avec Aiden O'Neill, le joueur australien du Standard de Liège. J'espère que vous avez apprécié, et comme je le dis dans chaque émission, si vous voulez retrouver toutes les grandes interviews consacrées aux joueurs du Standard, allez sur la chaîne YouTube de VOO Sport. Vous n'allez pas être déçus parce que vous allez en apprendre un peu plus sur ces joueurs professionnels. Merci à vous de nous avoir suivis, et je vous donne rendez-vous très bientôt pour une nouvelle émission de Standard Le Talk. Ciao, ciao!